Would you get on a plane to Iran right now? Picture this. You land in Tehran, surrounded by a completely unfamiliar culture, language, and political system. While your passport marks you as a citizen of a country Iran's government has openly called the enemy. This isn't just a hypothetical. In 2025, the question of whether Americans should visit Iran has become more complicated and more dangerous than ever before. There's no doubt that Iran is a land of ancient history, poetic beauty, and world-class hospitality. But behind the breathtaking architecture and rich culture lies a harsh political reality. Tensions with the US are peaking again. And while you might have seen videos of backpackers exploring Shiraz or vlogging in Isfahan, those stories rarely show the risks that come with that blue passport in your pocket. In this video, we're going to break down exactly what it's like to visit Iran as an American in 2025. From government warnings to real-life stories and crucial tips you need to know before even thinking about booking a flight. First things first, what does the US government have to say about Americans visiting Iran in 2025? According to the State Department, Iran is officially labeled a Level 4 do not travel country. That's the highest warning level possible. And it's not just political talk. The advisory lists risks including arbitrary arrest, terrorism, civil unrest, and even kidnapping. What makes it even more serious is this. If something does go wrong, the US can't help you. There's no American embassy in Iran, no consular services. The Swiss embassy steps in for emergencies, but even they've admitted there's only so much they can do under current diplomatic constraints. The warnings are especially strong for dual nationals, people who hold both US and Iranian citizenship, since Iran doesn't recognize dual nationality and may treat you only as Iranian under their laws. That means they can detain you indefinitely without providing access to a lawyer, let alone the US government. If you've seen the headlines this year, you already know the region is on edge. In mid-June 2025, the Israeli military carried out targeted strikes against Iranian infrastructure, claiming they were responding to threats from Tehran's proxy networks. Less than 10 days later, the US launched its own strikes under what they're calling Operation Midnight Hammer. The targets? Alleged nuclear research sites deep inside Iran. This sudden spike in military action pushed Iran into emergency mode. Mass protests erupted in several cities. The government cracked down hard, and foreign journalists were expelled almost immediately. Within days, airlines like Lufthansa and Emirates began rerouting or canceling flights over Iranian airspace. And the message from US officials was loud and clear. If you're in Iran, leave now. Even if you're feeling brave enough to go, the logistics alone are a nightmare. Major airlines are avoiding Iranian skies altogether. Tehran's main airport has faced intermittent closures due to security alerts. Several international carriers suspended flights without notice, leaving travelers stuck or scrambling for land crossings. That's assuming you even make it into the country. As of June 2025, several Western nationals reported being held for hours at land borders, especially the ones with Turkey and Armenia. Some were questioned, searched, or even turned away. The Iranian government insists this is standard security, but in reality, it's clear they're tightening their grip on who gets in and out. Even travel bloggers who've covered Iran in the past are now saying, "Don't go right now. It's not worth the risk." One content creator with over 1 million subscribers said his Iranian fixer begged him not to come, calling the situation more unpredictable than ever. Let's talk about what's actually happening to people who are, or were, on the ground. In April, American cyclist Ian Anderson was arrested while riding near the Caspian Sea. Officials said he was acting suspiciously, but later reports revealed that he was likely detained simply for having a US passport and a camera. He spent 3 weeks in detention before being released and deported, and he's one of the lucky ones. Several others, including aid workers and dual nationals, are still being held without formal charges. One woman visiting her family in Tehran hasn't been heard from since May. Her family in New York is desperately trying to get answers, but no information has been released. And here's what makes it more intense. Iran often uses foreign detainees as political bargaining chips. That's not speculation. That's confirmed by multiple intelligence agencies. In short, if you're an American in Iran, you're not just a tourist. You might become leverage. The truth is, a lot of tourists glamorize their trips to Iran, but don't show the full picture. Yes, the Persian hospitality is real. The architecture is stunning. But that doesn't change the fact that tourists are under surveillance from the moment they arrive. Phones are tapped. Hotels report your movements. And foreigners who veer off the tourist trail or interact with activists or journalists can find themselves facing charges of espionage. That's not fear-mongering. That's the lived experience of dozens of Western travelers who shared their stories after being detained, interrogated, or followed by plainclothes officers. And with internal tensions rising in 2025, thanks to anti-government protests over food prices, job shortages, and military actions, being an outsider, especially an American, makes you a walking target for suspicion. If you're still thinking about visiting Iran this year, it's not impossible, but it requires serious planning. First, enroll in the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, STEP. The Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, STEP, is a free service from the U.S. Department of State that allows U.S. citizens and nationals traveling or living abroad to register their trip with the nearest U.S. embassy or consulate. That way, the U.S. government knows where you are and can attempt to contact you if a crisis unfolds. Next, don't go solo. If you must go, travel with a verified local guide, avoid public demonstrations, stay off social media while inside the country, and never bring a drone or camera gear unless you have written permission. Know your exit strategy in advance, preferably by land to a neighboring country, since flights could be canceled with no warning. And finally, keep your itinerary private. Don't share it online. Don't talk politics with strangers, and avoid government buildings or media centers at all costs. So, is it safe to visit Iran as an American in 2025? That depends on your definition of safe. The cultural experience can be unforgettable, but the risks are very real. You're not just traveling to a beautiful country. You're entering a geopolitical powder keg, where one wrong move or misunderstanding could land you in a situation no travel insurance will cover. If you're watching this because you're planning a trip, ask yourself, is this the right time? Is the experience worth the risk? And if you've been to Iran before, or you know someone who has, drop a comment below. Share your story. Your perspective could help someone else make a smarter choice. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more breakdowns of global hotspots, travel safety tips, and what the media isn't telling you.